This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Welcome back, Bob and Jane. Here with me is Mr. Igor Kheifets, your mentor, your ass kicker, your king of list building. What is up, my man?
Dude, you're running out of names. Like ass kicker, and I'm afraid the day will come when you'll have nothing to say but please welcome Igor. Just boring old Igor.
That will be sad. I think it's really, I don't know what's been going on with this last set of shows, but I feel like you have been kicking ass and taking names and really trying to motivate people this year to be accountable and take their destiny into their own hands. And so that's why I called you Chief Ass Kicker. Or
Chief Ass Kicker. Man, I got so many signs on my door now. It's like the Prince of List Building and the royalty of list building and the king and the czar and, So I just got to get a new door. Got to put another door in the wall just to keep all my signs coming.
Nah, you need a bigger castle, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yes, I do. And I'll get some real estate advice from you in one of the next episodes.
All right, man. So what do you have for us today, Igor?
Well, today I'm going to start with something that you probably heard me say many times before, and that is that most marketers got their marketing backwards. And here's what I mean. Last week, we touched upon this concept that why did I go with copywriting as my primary skill, right? Why did I believe at the time when I started that copywriting is going to be that one skill that is going to propel me forward more than anything else? And the reason that, I did was because I recognized that I needed to learn how to sell and how to connect with people, how to manipulate people to do what I wanted them to do, which is to take out their wallets and swipe their cards and, fill out their PayPal information, which is, again, I'm really open and honest about it because that's, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do when you sell. You try to get somebody to, open their wallet and give you their card. If you're trying to do something else, you're in the wrong business. So, and keeping with that, just continuing with that topic of copywriting, the reason most marketers got their marketing backwards is because I see most people are so obsessed with product that they don't even talk about what really matters, which is the prospect. In other words, I'll give an example. So I was speaking to this nice lady a couple of weeks ago, and she's a great lady. She's a great person, really nice, and we're going to be doing some work with her together. And then, so she brought up this health opportunity to me because she needed traffic for it. And of course, as anyone who's enthusiastic about what they're selling, right, she couldn't help but try to recruit me into it, or at least try to sell me on the idea so well that I will go out of my own way to get her the traffic she needs, right? And what happened was I noticed that she spoke 100% of the time, she spoke about her product, how the company is amazing, how they have a great track record, how they will handpick the vitamins just for you based on the tests you do and the assessments you kind of go through, and how this and that. Basically, the product is the best thing since the microwave and since the invention of color TV. Now, here's what happens when you do something like that. Here's what happens when you talk exclusively about your product. A, you're freaking boring. To the prospect that has a problem he's trying to solve, you are boring. B, you appear as if you're selling. And here's the other side effect of that. You start feeling really awkward for talking so much about your product that you start coming across as if you're selling when you're really not trying to sell or push anyone into anything. And so this is exactly what happened with this lady. She said, I realize I sound like I'm trying to sell you, but I'm not. I'm like, I understand, right? But you come across, when you do something like that, you come across as if you are. You come across as that pushy, salesperson, which nobody likes, by the way, right? John, we spoke about the one thing, not existing, but I can assure you, if you want to alienate people, the one thing you can do is to try to sell them an opportunity. That's just guaranteed. You can do that. So people who talk about their product more than they talk about the prospect are really off. And these are usually the people that try many different traffic sources and don't succeed with them. In fact, they are shocked when they can't even put their foot through the proverbial door, so to speak, and get anyone to have a conversation with them in the first place. Because all their presentations and content and emails and everything, they all talk about one thing only, which is the product. What is it? Why is it good for you? And why it's the best thing since the microwave.
So, Igor, did you get lucky in figuring out that the copywriting and the market were the most important things, or how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, I didn't, Jonathan. I guess I did get lucky for following the right people. Because as you know, I struggled for a long time, right? I struggled for 3.5 years to get anything going and until I made my first real money. So that was agonizing and painful. So in a way, I got lucky after, the 3.5 year period. But what happened was I started following Frank Kern. I remember clearly Frank Kern and Jonathan Budd were the two, gurus I was following at the time. And I was also exposed to Eben Pagan. And as a result from being exposed to these guys, I got exposed to Dan Kennedy. And believe it or not, the one thing they all spoke about, which was extremely it just stood out, right? It stood out like an Orthodox Jew in a mosque. Is that all of them spoke about two things, that is copywriting or some sort of influence and list building. That's it. The two things that all of them spoke about. The two things that showed up in almost every single recording, video, audio interview, book, any resource, any media they put out, always came down to copywriting and list building. No matter how you spit it, that's the two things that came up, with the exception that Eben Pagan spoke a lot about hiring the right people, which, to me at the time wasn't really, it wasn't important, it wasn't interesting, but the things that were, that they mentioned, that the things that get you moving, the things that get you the results at first, the things that get you that full-time income in your business, these were the things. And I guess I got lucky for spotting the right things.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Are people still talking about copywriting and list building? Because I feel like you and I got lucky in running into that stuff, but are the newer folks talking about that stuff?
Well, of course, Jonathan, because you know what happens. A newbie gets online and realizes, hey, I got to be a guru to sell people something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the next best thing, that I'm going to copy all the other gurus. And so if the other gurus are saying that you got to do list building, then I'll say you got to do list building, even though I'm not doing list building myself. You know what I mean? So of course, there's people out there talking about list building and talking about copywriting, but very few of them actually practice it. That's the interesting part. Very few actually practice these things. It seems like it's only the brave who do. It's only the people that really have the balls to write copy that write the copy. And I really mean what I say. As I say it, I recognize that perhaps 95% of the audience listening to the show ain't writing copy for themselves. But I know that there's 5%, right? And among them, there are, members of my VIP club that are. And I'm really proud for my boys and girls to be writing their own emails, to be writing their own copy, to recognize the value of that skill set. But, without getting carried away too much into what's wrong with our industry again and again and again, because we do it a lot on the show, I just want to pinpoint the one big idea for this episode. If you got to run and you got to wash dishes right now, or you got to pick up your kid from school, right? Don't talk about your product until the prospect is the one saying, give me the link to buy it, right? Until then, the one thing you talk about is your prospect. Their fears, their desires, their insecurities, their problems, their concerns, their experience. That's the only thing that matters to the prospect. You can never be boring to them if you talk about that. If I spend the next 15 minutes talking to you, Jonathan, about attracting the best clients for a podcasting business, you will be listening to me, heading on every word, writing this thing down, right? You will even forget to ask questions because that's so interesting to you. And if you talk to me about, say, influence, right? Or perhaps about clicks or perhaps about, how you doubled your list building ROI in 24 hours, I'll be handing on every word because I'm just so interested in that stuff. To the same extent, Jonathan, if I was to talk to you about, say, let's just say, how to automate your business in a way where you can take 3 months off, wouldn't you listen to me? I mean, isn't that what it's all about for you, right? Just taking off and not working at all.
Hey now.
Right?
Don't give away my secrets.
I mean, of
I
course,
don't want to work.
I don't support
lazy.
that. Just for the record, I do not support Jonathan's lifestyle. Okay, I do not understand how the man cannot work so much. But I know that that's of interest to you. And if we were to spend the next hour talking about it, the one person that would never get bored is you. So that is, what I'm talking about is basically how people miss that completely. How marketers all around the world do not understand that. If you want to be interesting to somebody, all you have to do is talk about their problems and what they're going through right now. That's all. Doesn't matter if they're the president of the United States or they're the janitor in the, Washington airport.
So, Igor, I can't help but notice you had those 3.5 years of struggle. And I know that some of the list builders out there are in the same boat. And I'm wondering if you think those 3 years of struggle actually helped you understand your market better by actually being one of them and suffering the things that they're suffering through now.
Well, I guess in a way it helped, but it also helped because I tried everything that doesn't work, right? For a couple of years, I went trying different methods that were not copywriting, that were not list building. I tried a lot of stuff, Jonathan, trust me. But after figuring out that, wait a second, something has to be different, I have to do something different here, I questioned myself and said, look, I know I'm following all these methods I'm being told to do by the gurus, but something ain't right. What I need to do is I need to understand what the gurus are doing, not what they're saying, and spot commonalities between all the successful guys that were making millions of dollars. Which, of course, at the time wasn't really difficult to spot because all the successful guys who were making millions of dollars were showing how they were making millions of dollars. And so I chose a couple of gurus that I was following, and I just, started looking specifically for commonalities. I would literally not listen to what they said. I would just look at their marketing funnels. I would look at their emails. I would look at their strategy that they were using to attract me, one of their customers, and I wanted to model that. Right. So in other words, I went for the people that I felt the urge to buy from, the people who I was a big fan of. And I said, okay, I obviously am a customer to them. They attracted me and I give them money with lots of goodwill. So what are they doing to do it, to make it happen? And how can I repeat that for myself? How can I model that for myself? And that's what I've done. That's exactly what I've done. I stopped doing what the gurus were telling me to do. Instead, I modeled their actions. I didn't build my business off of their words. I modeled their actions. And it's not to say that these guys didn't teach all the right things. It's just they give you bits and pieces that you can't really put together into a system unless you're already experienced and you got a bunch of stuff in place. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah. It's challenging because you're in one sense saying that these gurus are teaching you one thing and doing a total other thing. And it's like, oh man, then do I need to follow these people? And then I look at you and you actually practice what you preach. And so you're on the other end of the spectrum there. And I feel like that's another filter for you to pick who you want to follow is, are they doing what they say they're doing? Are they teaching what they say they're doing? And really, are they living the life that you want to live? It's kind of interesting thought there.
That's a great point, man. That's an amazing point. In fact, here's the great example of who you do not buy from. A marketer that doesn't use an affiliate link. Like if there's a guy who teaches you affiliate marketing and he sends you an email, he recommends a service and he says, oh, and by the way, this is not my affiliate link, right? Don't study affiliate marketing under that guy because he's obviously not a successful affiliate marketer. The one thing I really loved about following Frank Kern back in the day, he would always be so critically honest about using affiliate links. He would email you, it would be a cool email, and then he would say, go buy this. And then underneath it, he would say, yes, that is my affiliate link. What kind of marketer would I be if I didn't give you my affiliate link for that service and make money when you buy it? Right? So it made the perfect sense. Same thing with Dan Kennedy. The guy tells you what to do and then he does it. Like you subscribe to Dan Kennedy's newsletter, you get 2 offers per month. He'll try to upsell you into the gold and the platinum and the titanium and whatever, right? Why? Because he is a marketer. In fact, I enjoy buying from him simply because I want to go through his funnels, whether online or offline funnels, in order to become better at this stuff, because I will then model this with my own crew. That's the point. There's two types of gurus out there. Now that I think about it, never actually thought about it, Jonathan, until you asked me this question. So one type of gurus is making money doing something completely different to what they're saying they are doing, right? And the other type is actually making money, teaching what they do as a second income stream to what they're already doing, which is the kind of gurus you want to follow.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's what we saw a lot in real estate back when I was in that, where I think we talked about a few episodes back, was where these guys weren't making money. They would go up on stage and teach you to use social media to get real estate clients. And in fact, they were using social media to get speaking gigs and to get people to pay them for social media, but they weren't getting any real estate clients, which doesn't make any freaking sense.
Exactly. Good point. It's like all these prosperity coaches. I had this client reach out, and she said, we pitched her some traffic, and she said, well, I can't buy this until I make more money. I can't, buy your traffic to promote my business I have to make some money first. And when one of my staff people told me that, I looked into her profile and I found out that in her signature she said she was an abundance wealth coach or something like that. Can you believe that?
I don't have enough. Wait, but I can teach you to be abundant.
Yes, let me teach you. You pay me. I'll then go advertise my business. What kind of bullshit is that? How can you teach somebody abundance if you don't have abundance yourself? Not only that. Not that you're supposed to be rich to teach people how to get rich, but if your mindset is in a poor state, you're not broke, but you're just poor state of mind, right? Where you think like a poor person. How can you teach somebody to get rich? That's the highest degree of hypocrisy I've ever seen, especially when it comes to people claiming to change other people's lives. Like one thing is politics, when they just hypocrites and they're liars because they kind of have to. It comes with a job. But the other thing is that when you say that you want to change the world, and then you hypocritically put yourself out there as if you can help people when you haven't helped yourself first, that is a big no-no.
Uh-oh. We're going to make some enemies on this episode. So what do you want to say as we're wrapping this up, Igor?
I want to say this. I want to say that your job is to not sell product. It's not push product on people. Your job is to show people you understand what they're going through. You try to do that first, and they'll be the ones demanding to know more about your product. But if you're putting the product first, nobody will want to talk to you.
Simple, clean, good advice. All right. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, list builders. We will be back with you next time.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.